Hey up, lads. I thought you were filming. I've been working my butt off down there.
Yeah, have you seen this though?
Look at it, it's hypnotic.
Martin, what do you enjoy about homebrewing?
Best thing about homebrewing, drinking your own beer, creating your own recipe, being able to drink it, pour pints off tap at home.
Yeah, and brew day for me, I absolutely love brew day. I love the sensory experience of it. I love all the flavours of the malt, you know, smelling the hops when they go in, opening up a fresh bag of hops, all of that sort of stuff. Absolutely love. But there is one big thing that can feel like a bit of a chore when it comes to homebrewing. What's that?
Cleaning. It's 90% of homebrewing. Cleaning your fermenters, cleaning your brewing kit, cleaning your kegs. It's just, you know, it's not a hate, but it's a big part of homebrewing. And if there's something you can do to make that easier, that's a big win.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen some big advancements over the last like 10 or 15 years in terms of some of the chemicals that help us do that, whether it's cleaning chemicals or whether it's sanitizers, you know, that have really helped to make it easier and better. You know, we're able to define like cleaning and sanitizing into two separate categories now. But there's also things now on the market and some equipment that we want to talk to you about today that makes it an even easier task. Martin, what are we going to look at today?
Today, James, we're looking at the King Keg Washer.
Right, what's in the box then, Martin? Let's get it out and take a look.
Right. Easy thing to see is you've got, if you can hold that box for me, you've got a little plastic bucket and a lid for it.
Excellent. Right, well, I'll get the box out of the way because that would just get wet and soggy.
We've got some tubes and another one. Little kind of cage type thing. Fixtures and fittings.
Yep.
Another fitting. Some tubing.
Yep.
And a pump.
And this is a submersible pump, right?
Yeah, with a 3-pin plug on it.
Excellent.
So really simple to use at home.
Nice. So we've got everything out. Now it's all about putting it together, right?
Yeah.
One key thing is there's no instructions in the box, but that's fine because you're watching this video, which will show you how to put it together. And it is dead simple. So first off, Martin, we need to do a bit of work to the pump, don't we?
Yes, so the pump has these little like suction feet which kind of go into the bottom.
And what those are going to do are going to keep the pump in position when it's in the bucket with the cleaning solution, which we'll come on to in a little bit.
Yeah, it stops it from wobbling around or vibrating.
Right, so that's the feet in. I'm just going to move the bucket to one side because we need to look at how we assemble all the components for this first and foremost. Now, in the box, you're going to get a bag full of accessories, and the first accessory you're going to need is this wonderful nipple. So it's a threaded on both sides nipple that just screws straight into the top of the pump. What that then gives you is the option to add your choice of plastic piping. Now, great thing about this is you get loads of different lengths, which means that you can actually adjust the height of where the spray is going to be coming out to, dependent on what you're going to be putting, what you're going to be washing with the keg washer, right? The next thing, and this is specifically for when we're washing kegs, you've got a stainless steel T-piece here, and that screws on next. And the reason for that, again, we'll come on to in a minute, but this is specifically for when you're washing kegs. Okay, so that is screwed into place. Then we have a barbed threaded attachment which screws into this as well. That goes on the side. And then we get to choose which length of pipework we want to use. Now, I always like to go with the shorter one first because then you can add to it. So we screw the shorter piece of pipework in, and then Martin, what have you got there? You've got a coupler, haven't you?
There's a little grey collar here which will kind of link the tubing, like the pipes you've got. So then you can choose how high you actually want it. Okay.
Cool, so that one screws onto there, and then like I said, we've got a choice of which bit of pipework we want to use. I'm going to go with the black one, which is kind of medium length. That's going to be around about the right height then for a keg.
great thing is this is all just like finger tight. You haven't got very many tools to do
this. Don't need to put it any tighter than that. And then we've also got, for the very top, another screw-on piece, which is just going to channel the flow and make it a little bit more powerful as it sprays up into the top of whatever vessel you're cleaning with it. Right, now there's a little bit of a fiddly task that we need to do, which is connecting up our silicone tubing to this barb, and then also to a T-piece that comes with this.
Yeah, and then the barbs on the disconnects.
Yes, so it comes with disconnects that you can then attach to the keg posts, so that actually what you're going to be doing is cleaning through the dip tubes, both for gas and for liquid, on your keg.
James, also in the box you've got these couple of plastic barbs.
Yep.
And kind of like, you could probably take that out, put these in here, and then you could attach silicone tubing and again pump and clean other vessels.
Yeah, because you don't have to use this in this configuration that we're showing you today. Actually having a submersible pump that you can do kind of pseudo clean in place on some brewing systems or fermenters, for example, actually makes it really versatile. But we'll come on to more of that later. So, need to grab some scissors because we need to cut some of this silicone tubing, all right?
Yep.
So do you want to grab some scissors for us, Martin?
Yep.
All right there, Martin, scissor hands. Right, so we're going to need this into 3 lengths. So actually, best way to do it is try and do it into 3 equal lengths.
Okay.
Right, Martin, if you want to cut there, that's about 1/3 into the line. And then do this one in half. Now this line is very similar to beer and gas line, although it is a little bit more flexible, but it does mean that you can't just push it straight onto the barbs. So actually what we need is a little bit of hot water to heat these up so that actually they'll push nice and easily onto the barbs that we need to fit it to.
Right, I'll go and put the kettle on.
So I've got some boiled water that's still very, very hot. Now we need to get these barbs attached. Always handy if you've got a spare pair of hands. So Martin, I'm going to ask you to put the barbs on the disconnects.
Okay, great, thanks.
And I will get the barb fitted onto the pump and also onto the T-piece. So just pop it in the hot water. Doesn't take very long to warm up and become a bit more supple. That just slides on nice and easy now. Push it all the way home. Once that cools down, it'll become rigid again, and that ain't going anywhere. Now the barb on the pump is a little bit bigger, so this one can be a little bit more fiddly. So actually what we've done is just unscrewed this barb out of here to get it on, because it is a little bit tougher than the other ones. But once you've got over one of the barbs, that's more than enough, and it ain't going to be going anywhere, like I said, once that cools down and becomes rigid again. So we'll just get that screwed back into the T-piece and into place, and then we can move on to fitting both of the disconnects onto the other T-piece here, the smaller one. There you go. I'll hold that for you, Martin. You can push that one into place.
Job done.
There we go. Right, so we've now got our keg washer fully assembled. What's next is, the first thing you need to do is put the actual keg washer itself, the submersible pump, into the bucket. Drop that in. You want the pump off center so that the pipe is coming up through the middle. Push down. The suction cups are going to hold it into place. Now we need to put the stainless steel stand in there, but actually what you need to do is make sure before it goes in that the power line and the disconnect hoses are threaded through the side, like that, right? Because
and then you're going
then that'll go over the top.
And that bit over as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. And that drops into place down at the bottom of the bucket, so that when the kegs go in, they stand on top of that stainless steel piece. All right. So we're almost ready to start cleaning this filthy keg, Martin. Let's take a moment to talk about what kind of cleaners you can use with this keg washer.
Right, now with all the cleaners and all the sanitizers, you know, it's pretty compatible. There are some foaming cleaners and sanitizers out there, so guess what happens if you use them in this?
Gonna get foamy.
Yes, it's gonna get foamy. So you use it for a shorter period of time and you just have to kind of stay with it.
Yeah.
Right, I've brought along 2 of my favorite cleaners.
Yeah.
I've got Chem Clean,
Yeah.
which is great. You can use it nice and hot, really gets all the muck out.
Yeah.
we've also got Brew. You know,
Yes.
it's a lower temperature cleaner, you know, and it's using enzymes to get rid of all that organic matter.
And that's really worth noting because the pump here is rated 60 degrees C. So using something that's below 60 degrees C is a really good option. That's where Brew probably really stands out as something that you'd want to use with this keg washer.
Yeah, the other great thing is, don't just think about kegs. You can use Brew on your plastic fermenters.
Yeah.
So it's not going to need that high temperature, which is going to make them buckle or distort.
We've got 5 litres of Brew mixed up here.
Yeah.
So I'll pour that in. That goes in. We want to make sure that the majority of the pump is submerged.
Keg Kings say you should use 6 litres of cleaning fluid with the pump and to get it working correctly. So we probably need to top that up with about another litre, and then we can get the keg on. Right, before we put the keg in, I'm just going to pull the ring, because you always pull the gauge first, make sure there's no pressure in there.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
And then I'm going to chuck the lid in down the side. So again, that's getting cleaned at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow, what are you adding there?
I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe it's something Rob brewed. Right, so we need to put the disconnects on as well, right? Because they're going to be cleaning the actual lines, the dip tubes.
That's the gas in.
Yeah. So that's on. Just turn that round so it's out of the way.
That's the liquid out. You know, if they're stiff, put some lube on the posts, just like you would if you were using them in your kegerator. And then we're going to invert the keg.
And that slides in, stands nice and steady on the top of that, the steel stand. Then it's just a case of plugging it in, right?
Plug it in, yeah. Ready?
I'm ready. There we go.
So there's no switch to turn it on and off. It is literally put the plug in, turn the plug on.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably put it onto a switched plug point if you wanted a switch, right? But yeah, that's now doing it. How long are we going to need to leave it for in this position?
I think maybe 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
But if it's a foaming product, don't walk away from it. You're then going to have to judge when the foam has gone far enough.
All right, cool. Well, we'll give this a few minutes. We'll take it off, see how it's looking.
Excellent.
So it's been about 15 minutes since we set this up to clean the keg. Martin, do you want to unplug the plug?
Yeah, let's give it an unplug and then have a look at what the results are.
Right. Oh, it's nice and warm.
Yeah. Oh man, that water's manky.
Right, lift him up over. Do you want to just take the disconnects off for me?
Okay.
There we go. Right, let's take a little look inside. Sparkling.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Don't know if you can see in there. I'll get a little bit of a close-up, but that is absolutely sparkling. Now, it's important to note that before we move on to sanitising, we need to rinse the keg. And actually, if you've got a few kegs, what you can do is run them all through the cleaner, then dump the cleaning solution out, add some clean water to rinse everything through, and then also you could then chuck in sanitizer after that and run all of them through to sanitize them. Really depends on your workflow and what works best for you.
It's almost like having a little mini cleaning production line.
It is. Now we just need to salvage the lid out of the solution as well, because that will have been getting cleaned throughout the process.
Nice.
Just chuck that in there. What else can we clean with this, Martin?
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. We've got this cleaning solution set up. I bet we could clean other things other than kegs.
Yeah.
You know, like we said, we could do plastic fermenters.
Should we give that a go first?
Yeah, let's give that a try.
Right, Martin, you've got a pretty minging Apollo there that's been sat around after its last use.
Yeah, it's a bit dusty. You know, it has been cleaned. It's not got all the
Like crowns and rings.
Yeah,
and
it's
that
not
kind
got
of
all of that stuff in there. But I just want to see what it looks like on there.
Yeah, no worries. Do you want to undo the collar?
I mean, what I would say is when you're selecting what you put on here, obviously don't put something on there like this without the collection bottle on there.
Yeah, you don't want to
just
just
closed.
Spraying water everywhere.
We're going to take that out.
Right, now we can actually clean the lid as well with these. You just have to, on the Apollo, because you've got the plunger thermowell dip tube thing,
Yeah.
you need to take off the little metal collar, don't lose it. Then you'll be able to slide that all the way down,
Yeah.
so we can get that nice down into the solution as
great
well.
idea.
All right? So I'll put the disconnects on there as well. Then we can slide the lid assembly all the way down. Now I should be able to get that tucked in. Doesn't necessarily need to be in the solution, but if you can. There we go, that's in there nicely. Now, let's see if we can get the Apollo on top as well.
Okay, so that's going to sit like that.
Right, okay. Hopefully, once we plug it in, we're not going to get wet.
Hold on to it so just in case it doesn't jet off.
Whoa, look at that.
Well, you can really see what it's doing.
Yeah.
It's not actually going, there we go, we want it in the collection bottle as well.
Yeah, now you might need to do a little bit of fiddling around to get it spraying exactly where you want it.
And that's because we've got that sticking out, but that's fine. It's cleaning everything.
Well, what we could actually do, Martin, is if we switch it off, we could try putting one of the longer pieces of pipe work on, so that actually the nozzle is going all the way up into the collection port.
Good idea.
Okay, so that's now sitting. It doesn't pass through the bottle, but it does sit right on there.
Okay.
Again, I'll hold on to it. You can plug it in.
And we can see what happens.
See if we get wet. Whoa, look at that. That's working a treat.
Yeah, because that's actually splashing down onto your lid that was just sitting above the water.
Yeah. Right, so again, we can leave that for like 5, 10, 15 minutes. And because we use an Enzy brew and our liquid is under 60 degrees, we know that we're not going to be damaging the Apollo's plastic at all for this. Right, let's get that unplugged. This has been running for a while now. It's mesmerising, but we need to unplug it because we've got some other things to look at.
I kind of lost track of the time watching that thing. It's brilliant.
Right, so let's take that off.
Wow. That's looking really good.
Yeah, man, that's great, isn't it?
But I also took the opportunity while it's resting there, because it's holding it, just wipe down the outside.
Yeah.
Get rid of the dust and things. It was great.
Really good. What else we got, Martin?
Well, one other thing about this, James, I'd just like to say is we use 6 litres. Now, if you were using Enzy Brew correctly in a vessel, you'd want it all the way up to where you'd been brewing. So that is a lot of Enzy Brew to use and a lot of liquid.
Yeah. Any cleaner is going to be a lot of, right?
You're using a lot less cleaner in this, 6 litres, and it's literally cleaned the whole thing just by rotating around and cleaning every surface.
Now, you've had a bright idea as well. Because this thing's modular, you can use it with some other bits and pieces as well, right?
Yeah, I'd like to see this with a CIP ball on the end. You know,
Okay.
so it's properly spraying around. You know,
All right.
there's various different ones on the market, and as long as it's threaded, it should just screw onto there.
All right, well, should we grab a CIP ball, see what happens?
Yeah.
For this CIP ball to work, we're going to need to shorten this again because that was right up, resting on the very top here, and we need to get this a bit lower for it to work. Right, so we'll put the grey one on, which is the very short one. So we've still got the longer grey one there, this short one. That should be then right up into the middle of the body of whatever we're going to be cleaning.
You know, and like I say, there's lots of different spray balls out there from different companies. This is just one which we had available.
Right, let's go back with the Apollo so we can see the effect here. Oh, look at that. Honestly, that is amazing.
That's actually going up into the bottle way better.
So spraying up into the collection vessel, sheeting all the way around the actual fermenter itself. Mate, I think that is an absolute win.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's totally modular. You know, you can do different heights, different products, you know, plastic fermenters, kegs, carboys, and you can then pimp it up with a spray ball.
Yeah.
Look at that thing go. I've got one more idea which I think we should have a go at.
Okay.
I want to see it CIP, something completely different that no one else has mentioned.
All right, yeah, cool.
So James, we've stripped it completely back. We've taken away the T-piece, taken away the disconnects, used the shortest grey tubing,
Yeah,
got the spray ball on.
yeah.
Now we just need somewhere to put this in.
Right, move it out of the way then.
Ah!
Bosh.
CIP a G40.
Yeah, let's give it a go. Right, lid off. Yeah, pop it in there. It can stand just on the false bottom.
Yeah.
We need to get some cleaning solution in there.
Let's just use 6 litres, unlike what you'd normally have to use.
Make sure the tap's off.
Oh God, yeah.
In it goes. Right, you're going to need to get a little bit more than that in there though, Martin, because we're not submerged.
Okay, I'll go and get some more.
Yeah, that should do us.
That should do us.
Right. Now, one thing to note with this method, you do have a hole in the lid, so you're going to need to see how that goes. Plus, we've got the power cable, but hey, let's give it a go, see what happens, right?
Invention.
What's the worst that can happen, Martin? We're going to get wet. I mean, it's doing it. It is doing it, and we're getting sheeting, but we are getting a little bit wet. Right, we need to have a little think about this. Unplug it. see if we can figure this out. Okay, so we've just repositioned it slightly more into the middle. We've moved the false bottom out of the way because you've got the handle on that.
Yeah, but you still left it in there tilted to the side.
Yeah, because that will still get covered in the solution. Just get the lid into place, and we've got a handy towel that we're just going to tuck over the side where the gap is, just to stop some of that splashing.
This is all about experimentation.
It is, right.
You don't learn unless you try these things.
No, give it a go.
There you go, I'm not getting wet anymore.
Not getting wet anymore, and the grain father is absolutely getting cleaned in place. That's awesome, Martin.
We hope this video has helped inspire you and show you just how versatile the King Keg Washer can be in your home brewery.
Loads of different applications, and just like we've said, a little bit of creativity could go a long way with being able to deploy this in loads of different settings. Now, if you made it to the end of the video and you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications so that you can stay up to date with everything we're doing here at Malt Miller HQ. And of course, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X and TikTok. Have a great brew.